Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eunice here. So today I'll be continuing part 2 of the Tengah. If you have been on social media, right, you probably have seen Tengah Garden Residences is going to launch, and it is being marketed as the first private residential project in Tengah, with prices starting from 1,700 plus PSF, which sounds quite close to the EC pricing, right? But honestly, before getting too excited, let's break it down properly and see if it is really making sense. And just curious, at first glance, does this feel cheap to you? So today, I'll walk you through everything step by step. If you have missed the part 1, you can actually check it out. I've actually covered the overview of Tengah in the previous video, and I've put out the link as above. So in this video, we'll also be going through some of the project details and also the site plan, where I'll be sharing with you some of the facings and the views, and in terms of the location itself, and also whether the smaller unit type is it a good entry in this development, and whether is it safe to enter. And the other things that I would like to share with you is also the unique selling points of this project and where are the sweet spot in this development itself. And last, I'll also be going through the exit strategy of this project. So by the end of the video, you should have a clearer view of whether this project is actually worth considering. So see if your opinion changes as we go along. So let's start with the project itself. This is actually the artist's impression of Tengah Garden Residences. From this artist's impression, right, you can actually see the units over here is actually overlooking at the waterfront views. And this is also the Tengah Pond. And also right beside of the development, right, there is this Hongkar MRT, which is just right at the doorstep. And this is actually the overhead MRT track. And if you actually go to the actual site itself, right, it is not there yet because this pond itself is supposed to be a man-made pond. And basically the whole place is still undergoing the heavy construction as of now. And these are some of the artist's impression for the rest of the facilities in Tengah Garden Residences. Okay, so let's go through the project details of Tengah Garden Residences. So this is basically a mixed-use development with the commercial component at the first story itself, which is quite convenient, especially when there's still a lot more to be done to this new township. There are altogether 863 residential units in total, and the expected TOP is around somewhere in 2029. Okay, so you will likely need to hold it for a few years, which means your entry price becomes quite important. And on top of that, right, the commercial space is actually about 3,000 square meter, which is, I wouldn't say is very large as compared to Lentor Modern, Pinery Residences. So this is probably just like 30 to 50% of the size of the Lentor Modern mall. Now let's talk about the location. Tengah Garden Residences is located right here and is actually surrounded by many ECs and upcoming BTO developments. You can see Copen Grand EC, which is the newly TOP EC, which is located over here. And on top of that, you have Lumina Grand, Altura, Nova Place, and Auto Place, which is located right here. But all these ECs here, right, is not really located very close to the MRT itself. Whereas for Tengah Garden Residences, right, is actually located just right next to the Hongkar MRT. So right next to the Tengah Garden Residences is the Tengah Central General and Community Hospital to serve the growing population in Tengah area. And likely this will be completed somewhere in 2030s. Some people may like it, but some people may avoid it. For you, will MRT noise or being near a hospital bother you? On top of that, right, Tengah Garden Residences is actually located within 1 kilometer from Kranji Primary School and also Pioneer Primary School. Okay, and next is the unit mix. So basically for this project, it actually consists of 1 to 4 bedder units here. About 40% of the units here is actually 1 and 2 bedder units, while the remaining 60%, right, is actually the 3 and 4 bedders units. So on paper, it looks quite balanced. But this area is mostly family focused. So do we really have demand over here for the smaller unit types? So you can let me have your thoughts as well. Over the right side here is the indicative pricing, which has just released by the developer. So as per what you can see from here, right, it actually starts from 1,779 per square feet. And for one bedder itself is actually starting from 980,000 onwards, whereas for two bedder is starting from 1.1 million onwards, whereas for three bedder starts from 1.588 million and four bedder starts from 2.288 million. The starting price does look very attractive from PSF or from quantum perspective. So most of the resale projects in today's market are already transacting as such price range. And now let's look at the land cost itself. Being a mixed development, you can see that the land cost for this project is really pretty low. It's actually $821 per square feet per plot ratio, which is actually on the lower side compared to other OCR and RCR, CCR projects. So naturally, you might expect the pricing to be more attractive, right? But in reality, just because the land cheaper doesn't always mean the launch price will be cheap. But based on the indicative price that the developer has provided in the previous slides that I shared with you, I strongly believe the developer do want to clear a huge percentage of units during the launch day. What about other options beyond Tengah Garden Residences? So besides the commercial podium which is located at level 1, right? In terms of the amenities, there are also shops within the development itself and nearby amenities are also accessible. So convenience is definitely there, but it will take time. Tengah is still a new township, and if you happen to drive past this area here, most of the places here are having construction still. If you would like to have other options, right, you can actually walk to the Plantation Plaza. And also there are also some HDB shops and supermarket which is available. Let's take a look at the site plan itself. There are altogether 4 different types of view. You have MRT view, hospital view, inner view, and waterfront view. The MRT is actually just right beside this project. So in a way, in a less developed township like this becomes super important. The entire Tengah is only served by bus transportation currently. And over here is actually the hospital view, where the Tengah General Hospital is located at. And towards here, right, is actually the waterfront view and here as well. And on the right side here is basically the Hongkar MRT. And on top of that, we do have some units with the inner view as well over here. And for the 4-bedder units, right, is actually mainly located along this section here where it is having a direct view towards the waterfront facing. If you want a better view, right, you will also be looking at a higher quantum. And next is actually the inner view over here. So there are quite a lot of units with the inner view as well. And you can see most of the units are actually blocked by one another, except some of the blocks over here where you have quite a good distance towards the next block. And the last will be the MRT view. And because this MR track is actually going to be quite high, so we do not have an official confirmation yet, but I actually went to one of the HDB multi-story car park to take a look, which is about 8 stories high, and it is actually almost same height as the track itself. So I would think it is safest to choose above level 10 to be able to clear the track. And there is also a link bridge over here to cross over to the MRT station. So can I ask you a question? Would you actually go for a nicer view or for a better price? And next, I would like to cover a little bit on the pros and cons of this project. And looking at the pros and cons, right, the positives are actually quite clear. You have the MRT connectivity, and also you have the lower entry price as compared to the surrounding EC. The price gap is rather small, and also with the amenities at the doorsteps, especially if this is not in the mature town. So it is very crucial to have the amenities at your doorsteps. And this is the only private residential project as of now with the waterfront view facing. And being the first private residential in Tengah projects, you will likely to have first mover advantage. But at the same time, being early also means there's a little bit of uncertainty in the sense. So would you rather go in early or wait until the area is more developed? And next is about the cons of this project. Because the MRT is actually an overhead MRT track, right? So basically, the noise level could be quite high, especially when the train pass by. And because this is also the new township, right? So technically, it still need a longer period to get matured. And amenities and transport now are also pretty limited. And next, I would like to cover on this is smaller unit safe over here. So a few things I would like to discuss is the land cost is so low and so close to the EC price. So is it sure safe? And what we can take reference from to assess the future performance. Since this is actually a new township, everything is yet to mature, but 1 and 2 bedder has the demand over here. To get a better idea of how smaller units might perform, let's look at Punggol. One example here is actually River Isles. From this map itself, you can see it is surrounded by many ECs, which I have already circled in blue. River Isles was actually completed in year 2016, where it is one of the first few private residential that was completed there, while the entire Punggol is still undergoing quite a major transformation at the point of time. Location-wise, it is not very close to the Punggol MRT but rather LRT, and it is actually walkable to the Punggol Plaza, which is the first mall in Punggol itself. So for River Isles, let's take a look at the unit mix of this development. River Isles, which only have 17 units of 1-bedder units and 68 units of 2-bedder. So quite a number of them actually did quite well in terms of the profit. The surrounding ECs, right, is mainly 3 and 4 bedders and above. So the question is, will Tengah follow a similar path or could it turn out differently? What do you think? So let's take a look at the 1-bedder profitability that River Isles owners has made. The highest profit here for 1-bedder is actually more than 300,000, and this is really high profit considering a 1-bedder unit. Now coming back to Tengah, across the EC here, there are basically no 1-bedders, and in this project there are only 6 units of 1-bedder here. So do you think there will be a good demand of smaller unit size for investors, tenants, given it is just next to Hong Kong MRT and with commercial shops right below? And now I would like to walk you through the surrounding competitors here by the unit type. So if we compare with the surrounding ECs, right, these are the 5 ECs here. And for Kopang Grand being the first EC that TOP in Tengah, which achieved the MOP in 2030. And there's only 11 units of 2-bedder in this development. So if you look at Tengah Garden Residences, right, their TOP date will be somewhere in 2029 to 2030. Frankly speaking, based on the data itself, not much competitors around when Tengah Garden Residences hits its TOP. And with the conveniences at doorstep, I strongly believe the smaller units will perform well here. And next, let's compare the Tengah Garden Residences pricing with the nearby EC prices to see whether is it really selling at EC pricing. So I put out the transaction prices of surrounding EC here, and honestly, it is a very small gap here. So for those who can actually afford the EC here, majority of them will be able to afford Tengah Garden Residences. If you take a look at the 2-bedder in Kopang Grand versus the 2-bedder in Tengah Garden Residences, right, you can see the price point is very close. And likewise for 3-bedder, 4-bedder, the price range of 3-bedder is actually within the 1.1 million to 1.9 million range. And for Tengah Garden Residences, right, the starting indicative price is actually from 1.588 million onwards. And likewise for the 4-bedder as well. For Tengah Garden Residences, it's actually selling from 2.288 million onwards. Whereas you can see the past transacted prices for the EC surrounding has already hit as high as 2.26 million. And next, how do we find the sweet spot unit in the development? I've shared previously on another project on the pricing strategy that the developer usually applies. Just to recap a little bit on this, in order to identify the sweet spot unit, we need to be very clear on what the USP of this project. Once we are clear with the USP, next is to find out if developer is loading the premium based on facing, level or unit type. So what do you think is the unique selling point of Tengah Garden Residences? So it is very clear to me that in this context here, right, the USP is definitely the MRT connectivity, followed by the waterfront pricing here. So given this is the first private residential project in Tengah, the rest of the surrounding ECs are mostly surrounded by BTOs and quite a distance from MRT with not much views. And in this slide itself, I will actually go through with you where are the possible sweet spot in this project. So why is it important to identify the sweet spot? This helps you to avoid overpaying, since the real sweet spot units are usually those with decent, though not premium views. They are often priced more realistically by developers. I'm sharing this based on my personal opinion, where I feel MRT facing units command the least premium due to the noise and lower privacy. Hospital view may offer a block view and less desirable, but it is less affected by the MRT noise level. Whereas for the inner views, right, it is actually much quieter and with some views. And waterfront facing units offer the best views and often usually comes with the highest premium and demand. If you remember what is the USP of this project, MRT and waterfront. So instead of going for the most premium and most expensive units, consider those with partial good facing and proximity to MRT. And these units often strike the best balance between value and livability, without paying a full premium. As you can see, the developer has designed in a way that majority of the 4-bedders are having waterfront views, except for some which is inner facing. So as such, for those with unblocked view of the waterfront facing, would definitely has a higher price loading. And my suggestion to you is actually, if you would like to go for the 4-bedder, stack 47 may be the sweet spot too, as it is inner facing and with the side view of the waterfront, and yet still closer to MRT access. As for the 3-bedder, stack 42, 34 and 23 may be the sweet spot, as it is inner view, close to MRT, but if you can get a higher level unit, you may potentially have a good waterfront view here. And for the 2-bedder, I will recommend stack 36. Partly it's because it is close to MRT and with partial side view of the waterfront. And next, let's talk about the exit strategy. There are more than 20,000 BTO units in Tengah, and their MOP will be in 2030s, which lines out quite closely with the project TOP. So there could be a wave of upgraded demand, but at the same time, there will also be a lot of supply entering to the market. Do you think the demand will be strong enough to absorb the supply? In the entire Tengah itself, right, we have 3,478 units of private residential, inclusive of the EC. And honestly speaking, we just need 10% of the HDB population to upgrade to in order to sustain. So coming back to the main question, is Tengah Garden Residences really cheap? Or does it just feel affordable because how it is being positioned? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would really like to hear your view. And if you found this helpful, do give this video a like and subscribe. I'm Eunice, and I'll see you in the next one.